Oh my god. I honestly don't want to review this movie. I don't. I really don't. Because every time I mention this movie in any kind of conversation, nothing good about it will come out of my mouth. This isn't even a movie. It doesn't deserve the title of a movie. If you took a ream of paper, fed it to a dog, it would chew it, swallow it, digest it, and crap out the abomination of a script, of which we call this so-called film known as 2012. This review was inevitable. I've had some reviews about it. I've had some requests, about it. I'm doing this totally improv, so if I stammer a bit, my apologies, but I've had some requests for it. I've mentioned it a couple times on my blog, and I just have so much to say about this movie that a review was inevitable. So here it is, 2012. As you can tell from my very colorful description of this script a few seconds ago, if you had to vomit after that, I apologize. There is not much plot about this. It's based off of the so-called theory that the Mayans made their calendar and all it went up was to the year 2012. So during the winter solstice of next year, the world will apparently end as we know it. So yeah, if you can build a 2.5 hour long movie off that theory and try and have something decent, you're a freaking genius. Because whoever did it for this movie was not. So, let's talk about our main characters. We have John Cusack as Jackson Curtis, and he's a writer. Then we have, I'm trying to remember what I remember of this movie because I saw it once. That's more than I ever need to see it. But John Cusack plays Jackson Curtis. He has a divorced wife. The wife has a boyfriend, and he has partial custody over a son and a daughter. All of these people are just a few people that get roped into the ensuing disaster that we apparently know will happen next year because we're God all of a sudden. But anyway, I digress. Among that John Cusack, there are several other famous people in this movie, like Danny Glover plays the president. Woody Harrelson plays Charlie Frost. I think George Segal was in it, and there's probably more people. I just don't care enough. But okay, so I'm going to start off with the one good thing I can say about this movie. The special effects are very well done. The way they illustrate it, they sending a tidal wave, knocking over the SS Kennedy into the White House, the way they illustrated it, I believed it. It looked very nice. Everything was crumbling and exploding. Special effects were top-notch. Alright, that's all of the good things I have to say about this movie. Let's get right down to business. This movie, I'm calling it a movie. It's not a movie. This is a giant piece of eye candy. Just like all of the other works of this director. The director, Roland Emmerich, who has also directed Independence Day, Godzilla, and I think there was something else that the Nostalgic Critic reviewed and hated, but all of his works, the critics might like them, critics might hate them, fans might like them, fans might hate them. This is honestly the only thing I've seen by this guy. That's right, he also directed The Day After Tomorrow. This is the only thing I've seen by this guy, and it's not looking promising, because everything about this movie is overblown. It's all a big piece of eye candy. It's all special effects. It's just like, if you see the commercials, you know they want to emphasize the special effects, because they cram it right into your TV screen, right into your face. It's like, hey, look at this. Look at this. Just look at it. Can you believe it? Oh, yeah. You see that? The White House just got taken out by a tidal wave. You want to see what happens? Yeah, go see our movie. You've been duped, man. You've been duped. I don't even know how I let my friends talk me into seeing this. It was the worst 2.5 hours of my life. I was practically in tears. It was so laughably bad. And it's not even laughably bad. It's aggravatingly bad. It's like the producers and director, honestly, it's almost like they honestly thought they had a good movie there. And you want to know the amazing part? It took 2 people to write the script for this movie. It's like, I could come up with something better in like 2 minutes. It'd be a short film nonetheless, but it would be a heck of a lot better than this piece of crap. Now I'm going to talk about the acting. There is no acting. Every actor in this movie sucks, except for George Segal. And spoiler alert, whether you like it or not, George Segal will die. Just about all the characters you might care about in this movie will die. All the characters you hate will inevitably live. Now, you're probably wondering, Matt, how can they live? It's the end of the world. I'll get to that. This is a big spoiler alert, but you do not want to see this movie, so I'm going to ruin it. The acting is like down. It's down below any kindergarten play you could ever achieve on the stage. The acting sucks. I mean, there's no other way to say it. John Cusack was terrible. He's usually good in all of his other works, but this is just like went right down the toilet. I need to calm down for a second, because I honestly, like I said earlier, I saw this movie once, and I'm doing this all throughout. I'm doing this all off of memory. But yes, there was no, I don't remember a single decent acting job in this movie. I think the one character that I cared about was this Hindu guy, but like I said, you'll end up either liking one character or hating all of them. So, like I said, okay, slow down, Matt. What are you going to talk about next? Okay, let's move on to the writing of this script. There are scenes which, in this movie, from what I remember, seem to have no point at all. There was a scene where John Cusack and his two kids went camping, and they stumbled upon a secret government camping place they're researching the global phenomenon that's going on in 2012. And he stumbles upon this FBI agent who plays a big part in this movie. And the first thing he says to him is, the FBI agent is, "Hey, you're that guy that wrote that book." And he takes like 5 minutes to answer. It's like, "Hey, you're Jackson Curtis. You wrote that book I'm reading." Yes, I am. And this scene has no point at all. It's like they go on for a few minutes about this book when there's a global crisis going on. I mean, the world's gonna end, man. It's like, why are we talking about this book I wrote? But now I'm really starting to nitpick at stuff, so let's keep moving on. I gotta keep this under 10 minutes, otherwise I'm gonna have to make a 2 or 3 parter. Good God knows, I could fill up a movie the length of 2012 talking about what's wrong about this. Alright, so I mentioned that the best part of this movie was the special effects. The acting sucks, the writing sucks. Well, the plot in general sucks. I mean, when you're basing it off a theory, just a paper-thin theory that the world will end because the Mayans figured that if they built their calendar up to 2012, considering how they made it, like, what, the year 2? Do you think they would have expected us to make it to 2012? With the way we're running our world into the ground, I'm amazed we are still alive in 2011. But how could you think you could build a decent movie off of a theory that is like thinner than a piece of tissue paper? It's like that Bible story. The one man built his castle on the rock, and the other one built his castle on the sand. The rain came, and bam, there goes the castle. Wow, I'm really losing track. I apologize. Okay, so we're up to 9 minutes now. I'm going to take a breather, calm down, and I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to have to make a second part to this. Stay tuned.